So what are the 10 most annoying songs of all time? Well, this is my list of the 10 songs that I don't ever need to hear again. That doesn't mean they're not good songs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go enjoy them. But for me, personally, after listening to music for 30 or 40 years, here's a list of songs that I can go without ever hearing again. Starting off in the early 80s, the J. Geils Band, hardworking band, took them 11 or 12 albums to come up with a hit record. The record Freeze Frame had a song on it called Centerfold, huge hit. I find it very annoying. The hook at the beginning, that for me is a big turnoff. Had they gotten rid of that little twangy hook, I might have gone for it. I don't know. Let's move on to another song from the same era. How about 1984? Huey Lewis and the News had a massive hit with the song I Want a New Drug. And it was so popular that Ray Parker Jr. wrote the exact same song and made the theme for Ghostbusters out of it. And it's just a really simple, basic song with a really simple, boring chord progression. And Huey ended up suing Ray Parker for plagiarism, and then Ray Parker sued Huey for talking about it. They both made a lot of money, and I just don't like either song. If you like those songs, great. They're not terrible songs, but I've heard them both enough. In the same era, early 80s, a lot of these songs are the early 80s when I was in college, in high school, working at record stores, listening to a lot of music. A lot of crummy songs came out that period. How about Billy Joel, 1983? Uptown Girl, Uptown Girl. He wrote that song in the style of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, who did everything in falsetto. I can't even go that high. Falsetto voice I find very annoying. That song doesn't really have a good melody. Everybody thinks he wrote that song for his beautiful supermodel wife, Christy Brinkley. Actually, he wrote it originally for his supermodel girlfriend, Elle McPherson, and then when she got pushed aside, he said, "Oh yeah, not only did I write it for Elle, I also wrote it for you, Christy." I guess Christy was in the video. Very popular video. Very annoying song.
Uptown Girl, she's been living in her white bread world. Come on, guys.
Okay, let's go all the way back to 1968. Psychedelic rockers Iron Butterfly. They only had one hit record, and it was a 17-minute song called Inagatta Davida, loosely based on In the Garden of Eden. The lyrics are very lame. Inagatta Davida, baby, don't you know I love you. 17 minutes of that. The same riff recorded and played over and over and over. A 3 or 4 minute drum solo. It's a cool riff. You could have done more with the song than that, but you get the idea. One thing about that album is really cool is the cover is one of the best psychedelic covers of that era. Love it. Music doesn't do anything for me. If you like it, great. I don't need to hear it again. Okay, back to the early 80s. What about Billy Idol? Superstar punk rocker frontman of Generation X, and then he went off into the solo career and made some pretty sappy tunes. Money, whatever you call it, 1968 song by the Shondells. Of all the songs to choose to remake, why did he make that song? It's a very boring, repetitive song. If you like it, great. I don't need to hear it again. Okay, this one's going to come as a bit of a surprise to everybody because I love this band, but this song I've heard enough, and that is Whip It by Devo. This song has been overplayed, and there's so many great other Devo songs you could be listening to. They've got dozens and dozens of great songs, and unfortunately the fact that they've been played over and over by some rock stations, the song Whip It I mean, has led some people to believe that they're a one-hit wonder, when in fact they are one of the most important, subversive, innovative, almost punk bands of their era. And lyrics on this are interesting, controversial. Are they about sex? Are they about some sort of corporate motivational thing? Jerry Casale has talked about the real inspiration for the lyrics. It's a little more complicated than I want to go into right now. almost everything Devo does is some kind of statement about society, culture, etc. The video on the song is pretty cool. The dude ranch and the cowboy is whipping the clothes off a girl with a big whip, but I don't need to hear that song again. I've heard it enough times. I would love to hear more Devo on the radio. So, Devo, whip it. So Bruce Springsteen, 1984, came out with a song that I'm not that crazy about, Born in the USA. Kind of a repetitive, annoying melody on a synthesizer that really wasn't in fitting with his sort of working class, rootsy sound. And was a mega huge hit for him, even though people misunderstood the lyrics. Lyrics are really about the fact that our veterans are coming home and they should be considered heroes, but the government doesn't really take good care of them. That's the whole song. Okay, here's a song I don't ever need to hear again, and I don't think I've ever heard it on the radio. I've only heard it live from bar bands, cheesy bar bands in, trucker bars and biker bars, and you see it at all kinds of community events like street fairs and carnivals and Bad Company picnics. Can you guess what song I'm talking about? It is I've heard it too many times, Mustang Sally. All you wanna do is ride and run, Sally. Song. I don't need to hear it again. Every time it's played, it's by some bar band where everybody's like 60 or 70 plus years old, and there's always a female singer who's trying to do the sexy dance and the grind, and maybe that sexy was left on the bar stool about 30 years ago, so I don't need to hear it or see it. I don't know who originally recorded it. Don't know, don't care, don't bother telling me. Let's move on. Just a reminder, this video has no Nickelback songs on it. Everybody hates Nickelback. I can't think of any Nickelback songs that I've heard. I can't name any, so I can't say I never want to hear them again. I just don't know any Nickelback songs. I haven't heard them. Wasn't my era. Here's an entry that was suggested by my son. 1976, Captain and Tennille, Muskrat Love. This song is on everybody's most hated song list. It's a very silly song about two... What is a muskrat? Is it some kind of weasel or rodent? You want to really hear them making love? It's a very cutesy song with a lot of cute little rodent making love sound effects, which makes the song extra bizarre. If you bought the single version, if you were lucky enough to get the single, it has a locked groove at the end. So you're going to hear perpetually that sound of the little squeaky muskrat love sound effects if you're into that sort of thing. But to be honest, it's one of the best written and most melodic songs on this entire list. And there's a better version of it recorded by the band America without the squeaky rodent sound effects. But that's a song I don't necessarily need to hear again. Okay, let's go all the way back to the swing era, the big band era. Many people think the most popular song from that era was a song called In the Mood by Glenn Miller, and I find that song kind of annoying because it's really repetitive. The melody is just 3 notes over and over. And over and over and over. I used to play that in a big band when I was in high school, and we played that song 3 times a night, and everybody loved to dance to it, but I am sick of it. Every wedding DJ in America has that one song. It's the only song he has from the 30s and 40s, and he feels obligated to play that so grandma can get on the floor and dance to a song that she knows. So all the bridesmaids goes running to her and grabs grandma and tries to get her on the floor, and grandma's just like, I want to watch Matlock, leave me alone. So imagine it's 50 years from now and you're at your granddaughter's wedding. What is the DJ going to play for you, the grandma or grandpa? You might say something really condescending like, hey guys, here's something for the senior citizens. Look, let's go back to the early 2010s when this song was really popular. And then he plays California Girls by Katy Perry. Now that's kind of a stupid song. It's also very repetitive. The melody, the main melody in the chorus is just like 1 or 2 notes. California No doubt that song wouldn't be as huge if it wasn't for the other two things that people like about Katy Perry. It's not that song, it's not the melody. And then after the California Girls verse, she goes into the that has now been called the millennial whoop. All these songs that have just a two-note interval. Ooh. Ton of songs now are coming out with that, and that is really annoying. To me, that shows that songwriting, is that a dead art form when people don't write melodies? They just write two notes and call it a song? Kind of annoying. Hey, if you like that song, sorry, keyboard. Hey, if you like that song, great. I don't need to hear it again. Okay, if that wasn't bad enough, let's go back even further. Let's party like it's 1699 into the classical era. Possibly the most annoying classical tune is something called Pachelbel Canon in D. Is it D major or minor? I don't remember. Who cares? Pachelbel Canon is a very repetitive song with a very simple chord progression, and I'm not going to sing it this time, but it's actually so popular that dozens of pop songs have been written around it. The most famous one is a very recent one by Maroon 5. If you know the song Memories by Maroon 5, it's based on Pachelbel Canon, and Pachelbel was truly a one-hit wonder. 99% of his recordings are of that one song. It's kind of a light classics. It's kind of like a hooked on classic. If you want to get into classical music, go listen to Beethoven or Bach or Stravinsky. Pachelbel, very annoying song. I do not need to hear it again. Here's a song that everybody loves to hate. Princess by the Spin Doctors. And I don't know, have I heard it enough? I could maybe hear it one more time before I die. Okay? So maybe it doesn't belong on the list. Just to remember how much I don't like it. That might be a good idea. And we should end on one of the most annoying songs of all time. We built this city, we built this city. Jefferson Airplane became Jefferson Starship, became very annoying. We built this city. Rock and roll. It's another song I don't need to hear again. And for you guys, your list might be completely different, especially if you lived through a different time period. A lot of my songs are in the early 80s, and I was very involved in music back then and listening to everything. The last 20 or 30 years, I don't know what's on the radio. I have no idea what you youngsters are listening to. I'm into jazz, music that's not repetitive, music that's very improvisational. So your list is going to be completely different. I'm not meaning to say that these songs suck. Okay, some of them do, but most of them were okay. I just heard them enough times. There's not enough years left in my life to hear these songs over and over again. If you've already heard California Girl by Katy Perry 300 times, and you're going to end up on your deathbed going, what if I would have listened to Love Supreme by John Coltrane just 3 times in a row, beginning to end? You know, don't end up like that. Don't end up regretting wasting your life on annoying, repetitive, mindless music. And don't forget, these are just my opinions, but the ruling of the Vinyl Rundown judges is final, so thank you for watching. Please subscribe, or please send me your hate mail. Either one. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, guys.